Welcome to the place where brains collide with science, wit, and a nerdy vibe. I'm Dr. Angel. Let's dive in where psychology meets a clever spin. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.
Picture this. It's 10 p.m. You are curled up on your couch, one sock on, one sock off, staring wide-eyed at your screen. The detective finally discovers a clue, a single hair on the stairwell. And you sit up and you're like, oh, I knew it was him. I knew it was him. But then there's a twist. The DNA doesn't match. You gasp, you clutch your blanket, and you promise yourself just one more episode. Suddenly, it's like 1:45 in the morning, and you're emotionally attached to 3 victims, 2 detectives, and a rescue dog named Buddy, and you still don't know who did it. And you'll watch it all again tomorrow. So what is it about puzzles and mysteries and true crime that makes our brains light up like a dopamine disco? Hi there, nerds. I'm Dr. Angel, and I'm your host of Nerdy Psychology, where we mix science, humor, and humanity to make sense of why our brains, do what they do. If you love diving into the psychology behind everyday behavior, from obsession-worthy mysteries to why we're wired for weird, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a single episode. Now, grab your detective notebook and your emotional support snack, because today we're unraveling the psychology of why we can't stop chasing clues. Curiosity is the dopamine magnet. At the heart of every puzzle, mystery, and whodunit is one thing: curiosity. Your brain hates an unfinished story. Psychologists call this the Zickernick effect, named after the researcher Bluma Zickernick, who found that people remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. In simple terms, your brain's like, hey, I started this story. Don't you dare go to bed until I know who killed the Duke of Sandwich. Every clue, every red herring, every unanswered question gives your brain a little hit of dopamine, that chemical of motivation and reward. And that's why we binge watch, rewatch, and still gasp even when we already know the ending. Think about it. Wordle, Sudoku, escape rooms, crossword puzzles, all of them tickle the same neurological spot. Solving things literally feels like candy to your prefrontal cortex. The comfort of control, even in chaos. Now, let's talk about true crime. Why do millions of us unwind with stories about things that are, honestly, deeply disturbing and unsettling? A 2022 study published in the Social, Psychological, and Personality Science found that people who engage with true crime, they often do so for mastery, for preparedness. It gives them a sense of control in a world that can feel random or dangerous or chaotic. It's not about morbidity, it's about understanding how something happened, or why, or better yet, what we could do to avoid it. There's a twisted kind of comfort in knowing the psychology of the villain. We don't just want to be entertained. We want to restore order. When that case is solved, that brain releases a flood of dopamine and serotonin. That's the closure cocktail. That emotional resolution feels good because uncertainty finally became understanding. So when you finally yell, I knew it was the neighbor, That's not just satisfaction, that's neurochemistry. Okay, when I was in college, I had this professor who would start every single lecture with a riddle. I mean, every single lecture. If we were talking about philosophy or cognitive psych or social psych or even research, they would start with a riddle. And one day he asked, a man pushes his car to a hotel and tells the owner he's bankrupt. What happened? We spent the entire class tossing theories and talking back and forth and throwing out ideas until one student finally blurted out, the guy's playing Monopoly. And the whole room just erupted. That moment, that click of realization, that's the exact same satisfaction we get when we solve a crime or finish a puzzle or finally understand a plot twist. It's your brain's way of saying, pattern recognized, reward is granted. That's the same reason, well, people love conspiracy theories or deep diving in Reddit threads, or our minds are craving coherence. We are natural born pattern seekers. It's literally how we've survived, finding meaning and randomness, and it's kept us alive. And well, now it just keeps us entertained. Alfred Hitchcock once said, there is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. Neuroscience backs this up. When you experience suspense, your brain activates both the amygdala, which is your emotional alarm system, and it activates your nucleus accumbens, and that's your reward center. And this mix of fear and fascination that creates this edge of your seat kind of feeling. And that's why watching, I don't know, Dateline or Knives Out is both thrilling and relaxing. You're engaging your fight and flight system, but also from the comfort and safety of your couch or your bed. Your brain gets to simulate danger without actually being in danger. And that, my friends, is the most paradoxical form of self-care that was ever invented. So why we love to play detective. Being the solver satisfies another human craving, competence. According to the self-determination theory, we're driven by three basic needs: autonomy, connection, and competence. Solving a mystery hits all three. We choose to play, that's autonomy. We often can do it socially, so that's connection. Then we figure it out and we feel smart, and that's competence. That's why places like escape rooms or trivia night or even guessing the killer and only murders in the building makes us feel alive. We're not just watching the story, but we're in the story. And for some of us, hi, I am guilty. We're so invested that we can start psychoanalyzing those suspects like they're literally our clients, which is a total occupational hazard. So why I love a good mystery. All right, confession time. Most people who know me know I really read mostly nonfiction books because I love to learn. However, if I pick up a fiction book, it is always a mystery story, a thriller. I'm one of those people who cannot let the mystery go. If someone starts a story with, you'll never guess what happened, I can't rest until I know what happened. I have been known to pause Netflix mid-scene just to predict the twist. I rewatched Criminal Minds and NCIS like they're comfort shows, and I have a borderline unhealthy fascination with, psychological profiling. But here's what I've learned. That fascination comes from a good place. It's not about darkness. It's about understanding. We crave that feeling of clarity in a world that often feels confusing. And every puzzle solved and every mystery that gets unraveled gives us this moment of relief, a little mental exhale. So before we wrap it up, I want you to think about this. What kind of mind games light you up? Are you a puzzle person, a mystery binge watcher, a true crime podcast junkie? Tell me in the comments below, because your answer says a lot about how your brain finds balance and order and fun. And if you're nodding along thinking, wow, I am a total curiosity addict, you are in good company. Hit the like and the subscribe for more episodes that make you laugh, think, and understand your mind just a little better. So here's the big takeaway. We love puzzles, mysteries, and true crime because they're little training sessions for the brain. They feed our curiosity and simulate danger and safety and reward us with that satisfying sense of closure. In a chaotic world, mysteries remind us that answers exist, that chaos can make sense, that our minds are wired not just to wander, but to solve. So the next time you're up at 1 a.m. saying, just one more episode, remember, it's not obsessive, it's biology. Your brain simply is playing the world's oldest game. Find the pattern, restore the order, feel the relief. If you love this episode, please share it with your fellow detectives, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Until next time, be curious, stay kind, and keep your mind nerdy. That's a wrap. See you next week.
Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.